Hello, viewers. I'm Mr. Dilip Kumar Pal. Now stands before you with a very important topic of fourth semester of plus 3 second year of the paper Global Politics, that is World Trade Organization. In this video, mainly 6 aspects of World Trade Organization have been focused. I request my viewers to watch this video attentively so that your doubt on the concept World Trade Organization will be clear. And in this video, six aspects of World Trade Organization have been focused, like its origination, composition, objectives, principles, functions, and contributions to world economy. I request my viewers to enjoy this video. If you have not subscribed my channel, subscribe it and advise your friends for the same, so students of all categories will be benefited. And so far as today's topic World Trade Organization is concerned, I have collected a lot for this topic. Let us start about World Trade Organization. In the world, a lot of organizations are engaged for the promotion of economic development of people of the world and economic development of people of nations of the world. No doubt a lot of organizations are associated for the promotion of economic development of people and economic development of nations of the world. But among these, there are 3 major institutions like World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and World Trade Organization. So World Trade Organization is a major organization whose object is to promote economic development of people of the world and economic development of nations of the world. Let us start how World Trade Organization has been originated. No doubt World Trade Organization has come into existence on 1st January 1995, but for the World Trade Organization, 8 rounds of discussions were made. It means for the formation of World Trade Organization, 8 rounds of talks or 8 rounds of discussions were made. After 8 rounds of discussions, World Trade Organization has been originated. And these discussions were in between 1947 to 1994. From 1947 to 1994, 8 discussions were held. The first discussion was in Geneva from in the year 1947. 23, the first discussion for the World Trade Organization was held in Geneva in 1947, where 23 nations attended. And in the Geneva discussion, some principles were framed and they came into existence on 1st January 1948. The second discussion was in NAC. It is in France. It was held in 1949. Third discussion was in Turkey. It is in Britain in 1952, 1951. Then the fourth discussion was in Geneva, 1956. Again, fifth discussion was in Geneva, 1962-61. Again, the sixth discussion was in Kennedy round, from 1964 to 67. Then Tokyo around 1973 to 79. Then Uruguay conference, last conference, 1986 to 1994. So, for the formation of World Trade Organization, 8 conferences were held. And the last conference was Uruguay conference, which held from 1986 to 1994. And in this round, what discussions were made? That was the final discussion. And 123 nations gave their signature. They approved it in the Marrakesh in Morocco. So the result of final rounds of discussion were signed by 123 nations, and in this round it was decided to form World Trade Organization. And the final round discussion, it was decided to form World Trade Organization, and all the nations gave signature, and in a place known as Marrakesh in Morocco on 15th April 1994. So, after that, World Trade Organization came into existence on 1st January 1995 with its headquarters in Geneva. And at present, in World Trade Organization, there are 159 members and 24 nations are interested, are negotiating to become member of World Trade Organization. So now, the strength of World Trade Organization is 159 and 24 nations are negotiating to become member of World Trade Organization, and this World Trade Organization now controls 97% of world trade. So this is all about the origination of World Trade Organization. Okay viewers, I think you must be enjoying. Number 2, composition of World Trade Organization. How it is composed. The World Trade Organization consists of many organs. The first organ is Ministerial Conference. All the ministers of the member nations, they meet once in 2 years. All the ministers of the member nations of WTO, now it is 159, they meet once in 2 years to decide policy of the World Trade Organization. Number 2, General Council. It is another organ of World Trade Organization. It is known as the General Council. It consists of ambassadors of member nations or delegates sent by member nations. It is known as General Council. Okay? It meets several times in a year. Then number 3, Goods Council. It is another council. Number 4, Service Council. Number 5, Intellectual Property Council. Besides this, it has many committees to deal with environment, membership application, development, regional trade agreement. Besides this, it has a secretariat. It has more than 600 staffs plus a Director General. So the function of the secretariat is to provide technical support to countries and committees. The function of the secretariat is to give technical information to committees and the conferences. Number 2, committees and the council. Number 2, another function of the secretariat is to give technical assistance to developing countries. It gives technical assistance to developing countries. Number 3, analyze world trade. It analyzes the information relating to world trade. Finally, intimate WTO affairs to public. It publishes WTO affairs in the magazines so that people will know different information regarding WTO. So this is all about the origination and composition of WTO. Now I will talk about another important thing, objectives of WTO. What are the objectives of WTO? It is very important. What objective it has? Number 1, improve standard of living of member nation. The first objective of WTO is to improve standard of living of the member countries. Number 2, promote international trade. Its another function is to promote international trade, to accelerate the process of international trade. Number 3, reduction of tariffs and trade barriers among nations. Another important objective of the World Trade Organization is to reduce trade barriers among nations. If trade barriers will be removed, nations will have greater trade relationship, and to remove tariffs. Tariffs means taxes which are imposed when goods enter into a country. So its object is reduction of tariffs and trade barriers. Okay, viewers. Number 4, respect sustainable development. It respects sustainable development. It wants that the world trade will be made by keeping an eye to the environment. Now 5, to eliminate discriminatory treatment in international trade. Another objective of WTO is to eliminate discriminations in the sphere of international trade. No nation should favor one country, no nation should disfavor another country in international trade. Then, to enlarge production and trade of goods. Another objective of WTO is to enlarge or to increase production of goods and to increase in trade. Number 7, optimum use of world resources. It means best use with minimum wastage. Another objective of WTO is optimal use of world resources. World resources should be used with minimum wastages. Then protect environment. Another objective of WTO is to protect the environment. Then encourage poor countries to involve in international trade for their economic prosperity. It encourages poor nations to involve in the international trade so that they will have economic prosperity or development. Now discuss what principles it has. There are some principles of WTO. What major principle it has? Number 1, non-discrimination. It wants that in international trade there must not be discrimination. All the member nations will be given equal respect in the sphere of international trade. Number 2, elimination of trade tariffs. Elimination of trade tariffs. It means there should not be tariffs or taxes when goods enter into a country. When goods of another country will enter into another country, there will not be taxes or tariffs. It wants elimination of tariffs. Number 3, elimination of trade barriers. It wants to eliminate trade barriers among nations. No nation should put restriction on the goods of other countries. 4, settlement of trade disputes. Its another principle is to settle disputes relating to international trade so that better trade can be possible. Then transparency of trade rules. Transparency of trade rules. Another principle of WTO is to make trade rules clear cut so that no nation will face any problem. Then all decisions are taken not arbitrarily, rather on the basis of consensus. Another principle of WTO is that it wants to take all decisions by consensus, not by arbitrary will of any country. It wants for the prevalence of consensus decision, not the imposition of arbitrary will of any country in international trade. Then another principle, trade policy review mechanism. Its another principle is to review trade policy from time to time. Then equal treatment to member nations. Another principle of WTO is to give equal treatment to all nations in international trade. Then principles of national treatment. Another important principles of WTO is to give national treatment. It means a country should not favor its citizens and foreigners, its goods and goods from other countries. It is known as the national treatment. So national treatment means a country should not make discrimination between its citizens and foreign citizens, its goods and foreign goods. So these are all the principles of WTO. Now we'll discuss functions of WTO. It is very important. It has mainly 6 important functions. The first important function of WTO is to implement rules and trade policy review mechanism. To implement rules and trade policy and review mechanism. It's the first function of the WTO is to implement rules which it has made and to review its rules from time to time. Number 2, to provide platform relating to future strategies relating to tariffs and trade. Another function of WTO is to arrange conferences of member nations to discuss future course of action. It provides a platform for member nations to discuss about future course of action about the international trade. Number 3, to solve trade disputes. Its another function is to solve trade disputes between or among nations. Number 4, to ensure optimum use of world resources. It wants to use world resources with minimum wastage. It is another function. Number 5, take steps to remove trade barriers and discrimination in trade. It wants to remove trade barriers and discrimination in the field of international trade. Finally, to watch bilateral and multilateral practice of world trade. It also keeps an eye on the multilateral trade in the world level and bilateral trade in the world level. So now we'll discuss what contribution it has for the world economy. Very important, what contribution it has. Number 1, maintain world peace by resolving trade disputes. The main contribution of World Trade Organization is that it is maintaining world peace by resolving trade disputes. Because so long as trade disputes will be found, world peace will not be possible. It maintains world peace by solving trade disputes. Okay. Number 2, it prepares accepted and better trade policy because its policies are made by consensus and approved by Parliament of all countries. Another contribution of World Trade Organization is that it has provided all accepted trade policies. It prepares rules which are accepted by member nations by consensus, and these rules are approved by member nations parliament. So another contribution of WTO organization, World Trade Organization, is that it has prepared accepted rules and regulations for the member nations. Number 3, it prepares global economic policies together with World Bank and IMF. Another contribution is that it has prepared global economic policies for all in association with World Trade Organization, in association with World Bank and IMF. And what major contribution it has at present? In 1997, it made rules for tariff-free IT products. In 1997, it has made rule that there will not be any taxes on IT products. When IT products will enter from one country to another, there will not be any taxes or tariffs. It is a major contribution. Again, in 2013, it took steps how there will not be delay in trade in borders. In 2013, it has made rule that delays should not be made in borders so that international trade will be better. There should not be much restriction in the border. Finally, in 2017, it took decision how poor countries can get medicine without difficulty. In 2017, it has made another rule that poor countries should get medicines without any delay. So in this video, we have discussed a major topic of global politics, that is WTO. I think my viewers must have enjoyed. A lot of informations are observed in this video. We have discussed 6 aspects. I think you will write all these things in your examination. Origination we have discussed, composition we have discussed, objectives, principles, functions, and its contribution to the world. Thank you, viewers. Again, we will be here in another video. So, again, I am telling that any topic you want, you may be a plus 2 first year, plus 2 second year, plus 3 first semester, second semester, third semester, fourth semester, just write my name Dilip Kumar Pal and that topic. Video will be available in YouTube. Thank you, viewers. Again, we will be in another video. Till now, goodbye to all.